On behalf of Boxer CEO Ben Shalom, welcome everybody. And to kick things off here right now at the press conference, the head of boxing development at Sky Sports, please welcome Mr. Adam Smith.
Thanks very much, Buddy, and a wonderfully warm welcome to the heart of the city and to one of our most exciting announcements, moments in recent times. A deep-rooted decade rivalry comes to fruition in what is an iconic fight on what will be an unprecedented night at London's O2 on September the 10th. This is a landmark moment for women's boxing and women's sport. Laced with history, needle, and revenge, the GWOAT, Claressa Sheilds, the silent assassin, Savannah Marhsall, two elite, unbeaten champions colliding for the undisputed middleweight title. Just take that in. And for Ben, it must be a dream come true, and there's more.
It's incredible. This has to be the biggest story in women's boxing. All sport needs the greatest rivalries. You see it with Nadal, Federer, Max Verstappen, Lewis Hamilton, and now for women's boxing we have Savannah Marhsall and Claressa Sheilds. This is also going to be the biggest night in women's boxing history. We have an all-female card for the first time ever. I want to thank our friends at Top Rank for providing an unbelievable chief support in Michaela Mayer against Alicia Baumgardner, and it will be live on Sky Sports at the O2 for everyone, not on box office, as many people thought. A huge investment by Boxer and Sky into women's boxing on what will be a huge night for boxing. I think we're going to see a different audience, a bigger audience, and an audience that boxing probably hasn't seen before, and it's all down to these two putting it all on the line. Elite athletes at the top of their game with a story that spans over 10 years.
Let's get straight to the fighters. Claressa, welcome back to Britain again. You lit up Cardiff, you were there in Newcastle as well, and back you come to London, where of course you struck gold in 2012, just after the one defeat on the slate to Savannah Marhsall. How much is it burning inside you to right what you think is a wrong?
It means a... Hello? Okay. It means a lot to be here. I'm grateful that the UK fans have accepted me, once again to come over here and fight. Savannah Marhsall, she got lucky in 2012, but she won't get lucky in 2022.
What do you mean she got lucky? Do you think it was just an aberration on your slate, on your record?
I was 17. Also, London was hosting the Olympics, and they also favored her. I never scored 8 points in any of my fights leading up, and that was the point system. And then all of a sudden I scored 8, just scored 30 points the day before, as I did every other fight. And then all of a sudden against her, I only scored 8 points versus her 14. I was 17, she couldn't shake me, she didn't drop me, she didn't get an 8 count. But all of a sudden now she's a knockout puncher.
You've sparred together as well, but it's more of the sparring outside the ring in recent weeks, months. Is there a genuine dislike, almost a hatred for Savannah at this stage?
I don't hate nobody, but I really do have a huge dislike for her. My grandmother told me not to use the word hate, so I don't use it, but I don't like her, and she's one of my biggest haters.
So this is, for you, the most important thing in your career to date?
That's what they're making it as. They're saying that, she's, a big knockout puncher. She's the only blemish on my record as an amateur, and she has the recipe to beat me. So my job is to show everybody in the world that she doesn't, and that I don't reign supreme for no reason in 3 different weight classes. Because if she was the one that was really supreme, she would be champion in 3 different weight classes and not me.
Savannah, you've been knocking everybody out. There's no doubt about the power that you possess and the talent that's come to fruition in the last couple of years under Peter Fury with this chemistry. Do you feel now is the moment, the time for you to become the undisputed middleweight champion?
I do, yeah. This fight has been a long, long time coming, but we're here now. And September the 10th, I will be the new undisputed middleweight champion of the world.
And what is it about Claressa? Obviously, there's the decade of history. Is there jealousy that she went on to become a double Olympic champion and the world titles at different weights, and that you've had to struggle harder? What is it? Or is there, as Claressa said, a dislike, not a hate? What is there from your side, Savannah?
No, not at all. I'm a fan of Claressa Sheilds. What she's done for the sport is amazing. She's a pioneer for the sport. But the reality is, she doesn't beat me. She didn't before, and she won again. And that's what it is, and it kills her. Look. It absolutely burns inside.
What burns inside?
The fact that I beat you and I'll beat you again.
It burns inside of you that I got 2 Olympic gold medals and you have 0. That's why you kept begging for the fight. That's why I can beat her. What else have you done to sell yourself? What else have you done in your career besides brag about beating me 10 years ago?
I've knocked out people you went 10 rounds with.
No one you fought was elite.
You are?
No one you fought was elite. They were
But we
good.
boxed the same people.
Hannah Rankin was your best opponent. Who else was your best opponent? Name them.
I'm not saying that. We've boxed the same people. They didn't go the distance from me, but they
You
skipped
fought
out the ring
against
with you.
Femke 3 years after I fought against her.
They skipped out the ring with you. Yeah, and you haven't improved.
Who haven't improved?
You haven't improved since Femke.
Please, stop. You declined 2012. That's why you never won nothing else after.
And aren't you glad I did?
No world championship.
All this
no
gold
Olympic
crap
gold
would have
medal.
been over years ago.
1 belt.
All this gold rubbish
This is
would have been over
embarrassing.
in 2018.
I got 5 belts over there. You got 1.
And it'll soon be over here.
It'll soon be over. Please. You're not going to beat me. You're not going to beat me.
I'm not just going to beat you. I'm going to outbox you. I'm going
Now
to
you're going to outbox me or knock me out. Pick one.
I'm going to hurt you, and I'm going to outbox you. That's 2 for you.
You're not going to knock me out, and you're not going to beat me.
I'm going to hurt you, and I'm going to outbox you.
Are you going to knock me out?
I'm going to hurt you, and I'm going to outbox you. That's all you need to know.
It doesn't sound like a knockout to me.
She has got a lot of knockouts on the record. Do you think people aren't making enough about your power as well as your speed and skills, Claressa?
That's okay, because speed is power. She's slow as hell. We all know that. Watch the fight with her and Femke. Both of them didn't even land, barely. And then she lands a big hook because Femke's like, hey, hit me. And then you landed the hook and knocked her out. You're not going to be able to hit me with that?
She was asking you to hit her for 10 rounds.
And guess what?
She did a cartwheel out the ring.
I beat her 10 rounds. I beat her.
She was in the nightclub
at 11
o'clock.
If you would have knocked out Hannah Rankin, you wasn't going to win. She beat you 4 rounds. You knocked her out in the 8th. You lost 4 rounds in that fight.
I remember, yeah. She was winning right before I broke a jaw and perforated her eardrum.
Oh, please. Oh, now you breaking jaws. You know, up in the amateurs, your record was 60 and 16, 0 knockouts.
Where are we at now?
60?
We're in 2022.
No, because amateurs matter to you. The Olympics matter, right? The Olympics and the amateurs matter. I was 77 wins, 1 loss, 19 KOs.
How many
you
losses?
had 0.
How many?
And now
how many losses?
I had what you mean?
How many losses?
You heard what I said.
No, just tell everyone again. They never heard.
You heard what I said.
How many losses?
You heard what I said.
Tell them again.
2 Olympic gold medals.
How many losses? Though?
12 world titles.
Yeah, there we go.
3
That's
divisions.
The ban. That's the
3
ban.
divisions. Exactly. You can't do nothing that I do. Nothing. You can sit here and talk, but you're not going to win September 10th.
But she did beat you once before.
If the amateurs matter, sure did.
Tell us about that, Savannah, because Claressa's sort of dismissing that. Is that important here mentally, that you have one over on her?
Mentally, please.
Not to me, because I'm a better fighter.
You the better fighter. Why you don't have 12 world titles?
I will September the 10th.
How do you feel about coming to London again? Obviously good memories, but it's not in America. You're doing this, you're coming over here. Is that to prove a point that you're the global superstar of this sport?
Absolutely. That's what it's about. I'm not worried about coming over here and fighting. I've done it my whole career. I can leave the country and fight. She can't do that. She would never go to the U.S. and fight against me or any other top woman fighter in the U.S. Everybody got to come over her. If it was up to her, we'd be fighting in her hometown, Newcastle.
But you're not, Savannah. You're coming to London, so you're taking yourself out of the comfort zone as well, because you've built such a following now in the Northeast.
I have, yeah. But it's in the UK simply because Claressa doesn't sell a ticket. That is why it's in the UK, and it's in the O2.
Not
because
factual.
It's a bigger fight.
Not factual. I've sold out
Remember
the
that
boardwalk
time
hall.
you did a pay-per-view?
I have sold out the boardwalk hall when I fought for undisputed championship against Christina Hammer. I have fought in Verona, New York, where I sold out there. Stop it. Stop with the hope that that I'm not a draw, because we are not here about to fight in front of 80,000 because you won 1 belt. Please.
We're not fighting at Wembley.
Stop it.
We're not fighting
Stop
at Wembley.
it.
It's the O2.
We're not here because you won one belt.
We're here because you cancelled the tickets.
We're here because I'm the champ. I'm the GOAT. That's why we're here. I'm the GOAT. Nobody knows you. Every time I speak of you, you get bigger. After this, you're going to have about 20, 30,000 more followers because I'm here, not because of nothing you've done.
How important, Savannah, is it for you on September the 10th to be leading this incredible night for women's sport? Michaela Mayer, a chief support in a unification. There's other great female fighters who are going to be added to the card. How important is that, a moment, a landmark for boxing?
It's amazing, not just for me and Claressa headlining, but also the amazing fight in Michaela and Alicia. That alone, I think that's a headliner on its own. So to be sharing the night with them too, it's going to be unbelievable.
And Michaela, of course, is close to you, Claressa, and it must be an honour for both of you, really, that this is happening.
Yeah, of course. I'm happy that there's another championship fight on the card, especially being women. Me and Michaela went to the Olympics together, the World Championships together. And Alicia lived not even 45 minutes from where I live, so I'm actually a good friend of hers too. But to have those girls and have their rivalry to be on this same card is just big for women's boxing. And now I can say that this is one of the biggest fights in women's boxing because we're fighting in front of 80,000. We have a great co-main with the women, and there are going to be more women added to the card.
And Ben, Spice, Needle, aplenty. You can just feel the tension up here, can't you?
Every time. I mean, it's taken so much to get this fight on. I would like to thank the promoters on both sides. So often in boxing, the big fights just don't get made. People said this fight wouldn't happen. It's happening. It's been going on 10 years. I think it was 2012 when Savannah won her World Championship gold. It was 2012 when Claressa Sheilds won her Olympic gold. That's where the story started. That was when women, for the first time, were competing in the Olympics. And now we're here, 10 years later, at the O2, headlining the O2, live on Sky Sports on an all-female card, with possibly, it has to be, the greatest story that the sport has seen. It's unbelievable, and I can't believe it's 10 weeks away.
It's a great story, isn't it, with the history, the rivalry. And, of course, we've seen a fantastic fight this year already in New York with Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano. It's amazing what's happened, that finally it's about great boxing matches. And these women are in just wonderful, wonderful position now. And it's a chance for Sky Sports to really showcase them on September the 10th.
How many times do we not see the best fight the best when they're in their prime? Savannah Marhsall is in her prime. Claressa Sheilds is in her prime, and we get to see it, and I just have to thank them because they are putting it all on the line. There's a lot on the line here. There's all the belts, but there's a history, there's the legacy, and it's happening at the O2. And for Claressa to come over here as well, what a night for UK boxing. Everyone thought this was landing on box office. Everyone thought this was the first women's pay-per-view event. But the fact is, I've got to thank all the promoters, I've got to thank Sky, and we've put our money where our mouth is because we put it on. We think this is going to grow the sport massively, not just the women's sport, but boxing in general. And yeah, thank you to both teams.
Yeah, working alongside Top Rank as well, who've provided some fantastic fights for us in the last year. And let's bring in Dimitri Salita from Team Claressa Sheilds. Dimitri, wonderful to see you. Great fighter, of course, great promoter. Now, we've talked about this now for I don't know how long, but it's finally happening. Can you believe it? And how excited are you personally to be back here?
Very excited. First of all, I want to thank you. I want to thank Sky. I want to thank Ben Sholom. This fight has literally been a year in the making. And for us as a team, years in the making. So I'm very happy that we're here. Claressa is not only known as the GOAT because she's a two-time Olympic gold medalist, multi-time amateur boxing world champion, 3-division professional world champion, 2-division undisputed world champion, but because of what she's doing right here. She's traveling thousands of miles away from her hometown, from her home country, coming to avenge the only loss of her career when she was 17 years old. It could have been forgotten about, but it's been on her mind forever because she is the GOAT. And one of the things that I found out being in the UK last time is that the boxing fans here are phenomenal. And I know that they will appreciate Claressa's aim and goal to be the best and to challenge herself and to get out of her comfort zone of the United States and to come out here and avenge that only loss.
You've got a great team with John David Jackson, Mark Taffet, of course, as well. You've got a lot of fighters too, Dimitri. You've had great successes. But how proud and privileged are you to be representing this lady and what she's achieved and done, not just for boxing?
the most proud. I really believe that Claressa Sheilds is a generational athlete that in 20 years from now is going to be mentioned along the lines of Jackie Robinson, Muhammad Ali, Michael Jordan, the greatest athletes, Pele, the greatest athletes that transcended their sport. What she has done has never been done. She's the first woman to ever headline on premium cable network television, which was on Showtime. It was only her second professional fight. Her fights were always sold out. She broke records in terms of television viewership and on some of her events, as well as the gate. So I believe that the reason why Savannah is here and the reason why many of the other women are getting the respect that they deserve is really because of the success of Claressa Sheilds. Because Claressa has done something that has never been done before. She's from Flint, Michigan, which is one of the most challenged places in the United States. And as a little kid, before boxing was a woman's business, before women's boxing was a business, she made a choice not to go hang out, not to get influenced by all the different things in the community, but to go to the gym and to be the best, and to strive to be the best. And as a kid, to have that dream and to have that goal, and to now accomplish it and sit here, and this press conference is streamed on Sky, ESPN, all over the world, is really incredible. And really, Claressa is not only an American hero, she's a hero of the world, and what she has done for not only women's boxing, for women's sports, for women's rights is really incredible. And I am very grateful and very honored to be part of this incredible journey.
Finally, for now, Dimitri, it's going to be a wonderful event, isn't it, on September the 10th, this all-female card. It's a real message, isn't it, to sport, to life in general, to where we've all come and where these fantastic women are now on this platform to be seen and showcased. And believe you me, Sky going to get behind this so much.
We're very grateful, all the respect and the honor that we received last time we were here. And this time, I see that the buildup is of a true bona fide championship, high-level championship fight. And it's a great point that you brought up about women being on the card. You know, Claressa herself, every time she's fought, she said, Dimitri, let's put a woman on the card. And throughout her career, we've always had on the undercards championship fights, 4-round fights, 6-round fights. The last fight that we did during COVID was an all-women's pay-per-view in Flint, Michigan. So it's been Claressa's goal to always raise the sport of women's boxing. And it's quite amazing that there is such a rivalry where sports fans and boxing fans are really going to get behind it. But this event is not only a great boxing event, it's a great sporting event, it's a great cultural event, and at the right time and with the right partners in Sky and Ben, and I'm very grateful for this opportunity. And it's going to be a fantastic night of boxing on September 10th. I can't wait. As a boxing fan, I can't wait.
It's a pleasure to have you guys with us. Let's get down to the other end. Peter Fury. Many people, Peter, see you as the man that's brought Savannah's confidence, her talent, everything together. There's a chemistry between the pair of you since you've started working together. It's been nothing but success after success, and you can just feel it and see it with everything that Savannah's achieving. Firstly, how proud are you to have had that effect on this wonderful fighter?
Yeah, I'm very proud of Savannah. I'm so proud of what she does and everything about her, really. You know, she's the fighter. She's got the talent. I'm just somebody that giving her advice. We do the best we can. So, you know, I'm a realist. I don't talk shit to fighters. I don't bullshit fighters. If it's wrong, it's wrong. It's right, it's right. And she's a phenomenal fighter. And this time, she's earned her right to be here. She's well earned her right to be here. And, you know, and Claressa Sheilds as well. You know, she's a top fighter. And this is a great fight, and, you know, full respect to her for coming over here. But you want legacies, that's what they do. If Savannah comes out on top of this fight and there's a rematch in America, Savannah will do a training camp over here and somebody else can step in the corner. I'll send her over there. Don't worry about travelling. But like I say, we are where we are, and I respect for Claressa to come over here. She's a double medalist. Listen, great fighters. And this is why I say this fight is the best fight in women's fight of all time. Because we ain't got lightweights. This is more or less the heavyweight division in women's boxing. Because we've got a puncher boxer against a superb boxer as well. So like I say, when you look at the records and you match them up, you've got Claressa that's not come close to losing a contest. And the same with Savannah. So these are the only two in this division. They're on a collision course. Now the fight's been made. And, you know, I'm excited for this fight. I think it's going to be a great fight. And, you know, full respect to Claressa Sheilds. I'm not going to sit here and dampen her credibility, because nothing to dampen, because I'm a realist. She's a top fighter, and she gets maximum respect from me, all the team. You're very welcome over here, because when all these glitz is out the way, yeah, all of this talk when the bell goes, it's one-on-one. Yeah, and we just sit there and enjoy the ride. Because believe me, this is going to be one hell of a fight. It's not going to be an easy fight. It's a 50-50 fight. But I'm excited. Savannah's super confident. And we can't wait to get this fight underway.
Wonderful words, Peter, there. Yeah, and Clarissa's clapping. That's absolutely fantastic. It is just a magnificent fight. And as you said about the differences in styles as well, it should just be an absolutely cracking clash, a mix of everything that's great about boxing at elite level.
Well, you're at elite level, and the thing is, you know, what a thing for women's boxing this is. You know, it's amazing. You know, it's a real pleasure to be here. And I can't speak highly enough of Savannah. You know, we're all very proud of what she's done, and like I said, and what she's about to achieve as well. So it's amazing to be here, and can't wait to see this fight. It's massive for women's boxing.
And Peter, just finally, how much belief did you have when you first started working with Savannah, and how much belief now, as we stand here today, just weeks away from September the 10th, that she can bring all those belts back to Britain and fulfill her destiny as the undisputed middleweight champion?
Of course she can bring them back. You know, she wouldn't be here if she couldn't bring them back. You know, we're not here for a payday. You know, if I didn't believe Savannah was capable of winning, I wouldn't even be sat here. Savannah wouldn't be sat here. You know, look, she's highly capable. She is one of, if not the best fighter in the world at her weight. And we're very much looking forward to this fight. I'm not going to say she's winning, she's losing, she's doing anything, but she's highly capable of winning this fight. And that's why I say it's a 50-50 fight, because it is. It's a fantastic matchup in all regards. You know, because you can look at styles, pick one over the other. They've both had a look at each other, you know, up close. They both, after seeing each other, no doubt, ultimately believe they're going to beat each other. But there's one thing that you can look what you want to look at outside the ring. And the same goes for both of them. But when you're in front of, when the bell goes and you're in front of each other, it's a different ball game. So like I say, I know what to expect. And it's my job to get Savannah in the best physical shape, put her through some immense pain barriers in this fight. Some complete grueling sparring is going to happen because, listen, I see it ending up in one way. This fight's going to end up in the trenches. So that's why I'm excited about this fight.
Brilliant, Peter. It will end up in the trenches, Ben. Just listening to Dimitri and to Peter there, it's the respect for these fighters for this night is extraordinary and right.
I think what Peter and Dimitri said about being a boxing fan, as a boxing fan, you cannot ask for anything more in a fight. It's a 10-year story. It's a UK versus the US. It's a clash of styles. It's fighters in their prime. It's two yin and yang, really, personalities. It's incredible. You couldn't script it. You couldn't write it. And it's come at a perfect time for women's boxing. So to be able to finally make the fight on an all-women's card, but particularly have these two at the forefront of our sport, and I think who are going to take it to a complete another level. I really think we'll look back on this in 5, 10, 15 years' time as this was the fight that really broke the mainstream. It's the first generation of fighters that have really broken through. Claressa, all the struggles she had to go through to even become a boxer, who won a world title after 4 fights, and Savannah, who had to be persuaded to get out of the gym and continue to go back, and she just wouldn't take no for an answer. They loved the sport that much, and they are the ones that have broken through. And now we see it, as I say, 10 years later. It's incredible that this will now headline the O2 and be a historic night for the whole sport.
Thanks, Ben. Let's leave the last word to these wonderful world champions who will aim to become undisputed on September the 10th. Claressa, let's have a final prediction of what is going to happen. What do you see unfolding on what will be such a standout night for boxing?
On September 10th, you're going to see a very exciting fight, especially early on, you know, with Savannah Marhsall being a knockout puncher and me being a knockout puncher and a boxer. But I see myself coming out on top. I can knock Savannah Marhsall out in rounds 8, 9, or 10.
And we look at Savannah and give her a final message from you.
Don't get injured. Don't waste no more time. I'll see you September 10th.
Savannah, what makes you win this fight, and how do you do it on September the 10th?
I win this fight through heart and my brain, my boxing brain. My boxing brain wins me this fight. And September the 10th, I will become undisputed middleweight champion of the world. And that'll be the end of all this quote rubbish. I'll not be rammed down anyone's neck anymore. That'll be the end of it.
And have you got a final word for Claressa before September the 10th?
See you on September the 10th, babe.
Thank you very much. It's a wonderful fight and a wonderful night. September the 10th at the O2, Sheilds, Marhsall, Maya Bamgarden, and many more great women on the card as well. A shout out to Hannah Rankin, to Tasha Jonas, to Caroline Dubois, and others that are here today. Fantastic time for sport, women's sport. Get behind it. And September the 10th, we will see you all then. The two fighters, well, they faced off already, but they will do one more down here for you guys, and I'm sure there'll be interviews and everything afterwards. Enjoy, and remember, September the 10th, what a date.
Welcome, Team Everlast, to the Team Everlast Fitness app. Download the Everlast Fitness app and find your greatness within.